Hi, welcome to Outland Woodworks. My name is Shane, and today we're going to be installing the RT-800 router table on the Harvey HW110S52P. So let's get to it. So the first thing we want to do is unbox it. Hopefully, like these cutters will cut it. This is really thick banding and not the greatest snips. No joke on that banding. Wow. This tabletop probably weighs 100, 125 pounds, I'm guessing, by itself. So if you plan on getting one of these with your Harvey machine, I highly recommend getting it at the same time you get your table saw so they can put it on the same pallet to save you that shipping. Sorry, I got the sniffles. It's just that time of year for allergies. Of course, it's upside down. But that's probably a good thing because here are the instructions for it. And we have parts and parts. Some more parts. Looks like leg extenders. So this does come with its own legs. You do have the legs. I've got the legs left over from the phenolic top, which I didn't put on. Instead, I've elected to use another cast iron wing. You can see a previous video for info on that. Legs. Really thick cardboard in there. Packaged very well. Sitting on top of another row of cardboard. So, how to manage this? I think I'll try to lift this if I can get my fingers under it. I think I'm fighting a losing battle here. Oh my goodness, that's a monster. This would be the outside facing out. So I think that's the side the legs are going to have to go on. So we are going to just lay it down just like it is for now. Maybe plastic makes it very slick. Paper. Finger stuck. This thing's heavy. Just take your time with this. Be careful with it. Make sure you're on the table. In a hurry, it leads to accidents. That was a job. So the first thing we want to look at is getting these legs on. All right, so I had a chance to read over the directions a little bit. See how these feet go on here and sort of what we have to do. I do have the Bora base with the T extension on here, and I went ahead and I'd left this side loose just a little bit because I wasn't sure where the feet would land. I did measure it, and it looks like it's right at 20 inches, and that would be from the seam of the last extension out to where the feet center is. Check that again. 19 and 15/16 to center. And this way, looks like, wow, that's falling in a funny place. 5 and 5/16. 26 and 3/16. Again, from the, oh, actually that would be the front, I'm sorry. Probably the same in both directions. Yes, they are. So front or back, either way. So the first step we have to do now is to put these legs on, and they show in the instructions to put a couple of washers underneath these feet. But they don't tell you which washers. And it comes with lots of washers. This is the only one I see that only has 2. Not sure what those are for. There. So we are going to assume for the moment, and that's probably going to bite us in the butt later, that those are the ones that go on there. I want these on the outside of the table. And I'm installing these first because the weight of this will definitely tip that whole saw that way. We're only a few pounds shy of doing it now. Tighten those firmly by hand. Same on the other end. Now, these feet are going on the outside of the table. This is the edge that butts up against that wing. So those are nice and snug. The next thing I tell you to do is to check the height and get it as close to your saw as possible. Now, because I already had this set up and it's on a stand, that's a little trickier. So we're going to get just close. We have a 1/2 inch there to this rail, from this rail to the top of this wing. So I'm going to take this measurement and add a 1/2 inch. I am at 32 3/4, it looks like. Yeah, 32 3/4, so 33 1/2. Oh, this was only a 1/2 inch, so 33 1/4. So and this is just ballpark. We'll tweak this later. And we're under 32. So we're going to spin these wheels out to about 33 1/4. Just a hair under. We're not going to lock them in place. And just getting close, not right on. Maybe a 1/16 or an 1/8 short. Okay, so that should be fairly close there. Because the next thing you got to do is monster this table around over there and get the feet in the hole, get it lined up. But to do that, I'm going to put those skids again from previous video. If you haven't seen that, it's basically 2 boards underneath the table, and I'm going to clamp them up to support the weight of the table down on it while I get those lined up. So again, to reiterate, underneath here we're going to put 2 boards on each side, and we're going to clamp them with the board hanging out this way so that when we do set that table on there, we have something supporting the weight in front. Since this is tight here, this will be tight as well. So it's kind of a task getting that in there, but we're going to get it done. So let's see what we can do here. All right, so we've got our boards under here to hold this table up, and we're going to bring this table around and set it in place. They recommend 2 people. I recommend at least 2 people. Unfortunately, it's just me out here. So I'm going to try it. If something seems unsafe, I'll stop and get help. I took a piece of scrap wood and I cut a little notch in the end of it here. Widen it up just a little bit. And this fits underneath this back rail and down into the bottom of my stand, of my Bora roll-around stand. So That will help alleviate any fear I have of this tipping while I'm trying to install it. I say most. I'll keep an eye on it while I'm doing it. The biggest thing here, like I said, is take your time, be careful, be aware of what you're doing, watch, make sure you're not going to trip, because this thing is not light at all. Again, I'm not 100% certain I'm going to be able to do this myself, but I'm sure going to try. If I fail at it, well, you're going to see that too. Just getting grease off my hands here. I do have the bolts in place and ready to go once I get it there. So I need to flip this top around. This is not even moderately light, I'm here to tell you. Get the feet set down in there to get some weight off me. Somewhat centered here. Bring it up. Whew. Man, oh man, that thing is heavy. Slide it up into place. It's going to have to be adjusted. And it's a little bit high. I did measure these thicknesses before I did this, and they're both 1.75 inches. So it's probably just weight and leg adjustment there. You see I lift that out of it. Whew, that took a lot out of me. But we are going to get these screws in here. I feel good about it. Everything feels solid. So we've got a flat washer, then the bolt, another flat washer, a lock washer, and the nut. Let's just hope these are long enough, unlike this side wing. Flat washer. Lock washer. Oh, we got plenty. And the nut. Let's get that down finger tight. All right, so we've got those side bolts in, and now what we need to do is get this top coplanar with the rest of the table. And I can tell by just setting my straight edge on here, which this is a Tay Tools 50-inch. I'll put the link for it below. As you can see, we're nowhere close at the moment. Now here, I have loosened these clamps up a little bit, just to give me some working room, and we can play with those as we need. But I'm going to go ahead and raise this side up and get it close. Then I'm going to check this leg and I'm going to get it close, and we're just going to keep kind of working it around until we get everything where we want it. That is very close. This is an 8/1000th, which we can go up to 13 on the tolerances. Yeah, that feels good there. Check this side. Feels good. So now with that, we're going to go ahead and snug all these bolts up. And after that, initial assembly will be just about complete. We've got to put some stuff on the cabinet. We need to put the dust collector port on. We need to put the side cover on and other little bits and bobs there. But that'll be in the next video. So I appreciate you being here, sticking it out with me. If you think I've given you anything you found useful, give me a thumbs up, consider subscribing. And until then, we'll see you next time. Thanks.